Listen to this, alone, in the dark. I was halfway down the apartment hallway when I realized the lights were off again. They stay on all night, they always have, because the landlord says it keeps people from messing around down there. I remember thinking it was strange but not dangerous. It was just my building. 4 floors, old carpet, the same humming from the vending machine near the stairs. I could still hear the ice shifting inside it. My door was at the very end. I had my keys in my hand already. I wasn't nervous. I was tired. It was almost midnight, and I just wanted to get inside. When I stepped forward, the motion light at the far end flicked on instead of the one above me. It lit up the opposite wall and left me standing in shadow. I stopped walking because I thought maybe someone else was down there, maybe a neighbor coming up from the stairs. I listened. The vending machine hummed. Pipes clicked somewhere in the walls. Nothing else moved. I cleared my throat and said, "Hello?" My voice sounded flat. No echo. No response. I took another step, and the light above me still didn't turn on. That's when I saw it, standing at the other end of the hallway, just past my door. It wasn't there before. I would have seen it. The light behind it made the shape clear. It was tall enough that its head nearly touched the ceiling. Its arms were longer than they should have been, hanging low and straight. Its skin looked pale but not white, more like something that never sees the sun. I could see its face. It had eyes. They were open and fixed on me. It wasn't hiding. It wasn't moving. It was just standing there like it had been waiting for me to notice it. I felt my grip tighten on my keys. My mouth went dry. I tried to tell myself it was a person, someone playing a joke, someone in a costume. But the proportions were wrong. The shoulders were too narrow. The fingers were too long and still. I swallowed and said, "You're in front of my door." The words sounded stupid the second they left my mouth. The thing didn't blink. It didn't breathe. It just tilted its head a few inches to the side like it was studying me. I took one step back without meaning to. The second I did, the light behind it shut off. The hallway went dark for a second, and then the light above me snapped on instead. It was close now. I hadn't heard it move. It was standing halfway down the hallway between us. I could see its face clearly. The eyes were wide and wet. The mouth was slightly open, like it was about to speak. I felt the air change. It was colder around my legs. My chest tightened. I said, "How did you do that?" My voice shook. Its mouth moved. I saw the lips stretch slowly. Then it answered me in a voice that sounded like mine, but thinner. "You walked closer." The sound came from directly in front of me, even though its mouth barely opened. My stomach dropped. I hadn't walked toward it. I had stepped back. I knew I had. I looked down at my feet to make sure. When I looked back up, it was closer again. Close enough that I could see small cracks along its skin like dry lines running across its cheeks and down its neck. I tried to get around it. My apartment door was behind it, but maybe I could run past. I shifted to the left. It shifted to the left at the exact same time. I moved right. It matched me again. No delay, no hesitation. My heart started pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I backed toward the stairwell instead. If I couldn't get into my apartment, I could go down to the lobby. I said, "Stay there." I don't know why I said that. It didn't respond with words this time, but it smiled. The smile didn't reach its eyes. I turned and ran for the stairs. The metal door was only a few steps away. I grabbed the handle and pulled. It didn't open. It always opens. I use it every day. I yanked harder and said, "Come on!" The handle wouldn't move. I felt something behind me. not touching me, but close enough that the air felt heavy against my back. I didn't want to turn around. I knew what I would see. I forced myself to look anyway. It was inches from my face. Its eyes were wider now. I could see my reflection in them. My mouth was open. My breathing was fast and shallow. The thing lifted one hand slowly and pressed its palm against the stairwell door beside my head. I hadn't seen it raise its arm. It just appeared there, blocking the door. It leaned down until its face was level with mine. I could smell something stale and damp. It said, "This is where you stop." The voice was still mine, but stretched thin like it was being pulled through something narrow. I shoved against it. My hands went straight through its chest. There was resistance, like pushing through thick water, but no solid bone or muscle. My skin burned where I touched it. I pulled my hands back and they were red and shaking. The hallway lights began turning off one by one, starting at the far end. Each click moved closer to us. I felt the darkness closing in. I tried the door again. It wouldn't budge. I said, "Please." I didn't even know what I was asking for. The last light above us flickered. In that moment before it went out, I saw its face change. The smile dropped. The eyes narrowed slightly, not in anger, just in focus. Like it had been patient, and now it was done waiting. The light shut off, and everything went black. I couldn't see my hands. I couldn't see the stairs. I could still feel it in front of me. The air pressed tight around my body. I tried to scream, but my throat felt locked. I heard it breathing, slow and steady, right against my ear. Then the hallway light snapped back on. I was standing at the far end near the vending machine. My apartment door was at the other end. The hallway was empty. The lights were normal again. The vending machine hummed like it always does. For a second, I thought I had blacked out. Maybe I had imagined it. My keys were still in my hand. I could see my door clearly. No tall shape, no pale skin, nothing blocking me. I took one careful step forward. The light above my door turned off. It was standing there again, exactly where it had been the first time, just past my door, waiting, watching, like nothing had happened at all. It raised one hand slowly and pointed to the spot on the floor in front of it. "You walked closer. If you're listening to this, think about the last time you walked down a hallway and the lights didn't turn on the way they should have, because it might not be broken wiring. It might be something waiting for you to notice it, standing where you always feel safe. If you have a horror story of your own, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. You never know, the next story could be yours. Subscribe to The Vault so you don't miss what comes next.